loss has been a core part of every Spider-Man story. Tobey Maguire lost his Uncle Ben. Andrew Garfield lost his Gwen Stacy. In all iterations of Spider-Man on film, loss is what propels Peter Parker to become the hero he must be. The film I'm going to be focusing on for my video essay is going to be the most recent Spider-Man film, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. The reason why I'm going to be focusing on this film is because for the first time in Spider-Man's film history, it pushes back against the idea of loss and questions it. This pushback allows for the character to go into a completely new direction, creating a unique story that subverts such a core aspect of a character that's so popular in modern cinema. For comparative purposes, I will also be referencing the most recent live-action Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man No Way Home. This film is a good modern example of how loss is portrayed in Spider-Man films, allowing me to emphasize just how much Across the Spider-Verse pushes these boundaries. Loss and Spider-Man. Loss is the connective tissue between just about every iteration of Spider-Man. In Spider-Man No Way Home, Tom Holland's Spider-Man essentially loses everything he cares about. Though he is triumphant and defeats the villains, he does so at the cost of his Aunt May's life, his friendships, and all memories of him. The death of Aunt May in particular echoes that of Uncle Ben's in Spider-Man films of the past. In this story, she's the one that tells Peter, with great power comes great responsibility. Aunt May's death is the moment that pushes Peter to become the Spider-Man he is supposed to be. A villain has finally put Peter at his lowest, killing what is essentially his mother figure. This leaves him in a position to where he must grow and overcome this death to be the hero that New York City needs. This idea is reinforced through a multiversal reunion with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. The three of them share their own tragedies, creating a sense of solidarity through shared grief. All three generations of Spider-Man have accepted these losses, as they made them into the heroes they are today. Across the Spider-Verse is very self-aware about this idea, where a plot point in the film states that moments such as these are necessary and unavoidable for every iteration of Spider-Man. Upon hearing about the impending death of his father, Miles Morales, the lead of this film, rejects the idea.
What am I supposed to do? Just let him die?
Miles Morales, a new take on Spider-Man. Aside from his name and origin, Miles Morales embodies Spider-Man just as much as Peter Parker does. Though he is told by Miguel, the leader of the Spider Society, that interfering with a canon event could end the universe, Miles still rejects the idea of letting his father die. His defiance is a very bold breaking of the tradition that Spider-Man is supposed to accept loss in his life. He isn't necessarily rejecting the idea of being Spider-Man and being a hero, but more so the idea that loss must define him. Now compare this to No Way Home, where Peter makes the choice to ultimately embrace the sacrifice of his personal relationships, isolating himself to protect his loved ones. This decision reinforces the classic Spider-Man narrative of enduring hardships for the greater good and putting others above himself. Miles Morales, however, challenges this narrative. He questions why he must pick between saving one person or saving people en masse. His reluctance to conform to the wishes of the Spider Society are what drive the second and third acts of the film. While the film does have a conventional villain that is connected to Miles Morales, the climactic conflict isn't between them, it's between Miles and the other Spider people. Miles doesn't have to overcome your stereotypical evil villain in this film, he just has to overcome Miguel. This serves as a representation of the departure the film is taking from conventional Spider-Man stories. Though he is refusing to accept what he is told must define Spider-Man, his perspective and belief that he can save anyone and everyone proves that he is Spider-Man. This unwavering belief in himself is as important of a characteristic for the character of Spider-Man as enduring losses. In both this film and its predecessor, Miles is told by the world around him that he is an outsider among iterations of Peter Parker and more traditional versions of Spider-Man. However, he continuously proves that he can be his own person while also embodying the heroism that defines people such as Peter. It is with this that Miles proves that he can be Spider-Man, just a different kind of Spider-Man. We see that this story holds individuality over conformity. It is self-aware that audiences are used to stories where Peter Parker is Spider-Man and he becomes who he is because of who he loses. Through the narrative and actions of the characters, the film shows that this isn't the only way to present a compelling story for Spider-Man. Miles defeats Miguel in their fight and is able to escape this universe in order to protect his father and his own. After this escape, we see how other Spider people have been influenced and affected by his actions. Gwen Stacy, who is a version of Spider-Woman herself in this series and a companion to Miles, sees her perspective of accepting loss shifted due to Miles' defiance. Gwen's story so far has seen her up against people who she deeply cares for. Her father is a police chief who has a vendetta against Spider-Woman yet is unaware that his daughter is her. She also has turmoil with Miles as she is aligned with the Spider Society and its morals regarding canon events. This all changes for Gwen due to Miles' devotion to saving his father. This changes her outlook on her connections and loyalties, with Miles inspiring her to reconvene with her father and open up about her past as Spider-Woman. He accepts his daughter and their problems are mended. From here, she assembles a team to assist Miles in his impending battle with the threat to his universe, and more specifically his father. This growth shows how the status quo of being Spider-Man and handling loss is shifting as a direct result of Miles, representing what his whole character stands for, doing his own thing. Across the Spider-Verse takes on the challenge of not dismissing loss in a Spider-Man story, but redefining how he can respond to it. Where Spider-Man movies of the past have shown their protagonists embracing loss and growing from it, this film shows that Miles can push back against that idea with resilience and hope. It doesn't dismiss what defines Spider-Man, it just evolves it. Both No Way Home and Across the Spider-Verse are unique and modern stories that show where Spider-Man can go when loss is interweaved into his story, both when he accepts it and when he rejects it.